What up YouTube, Topaz Yates back for another review, and this one's to that DJ Khaled, father of Asahd, and I'll give it the yellow light, man, because just based off of what DJ Khaled does, it pretty much makes it so that these projects won't be complete garbage, but yet it honestly is somewhat capped, like it will never be great either. You feel me? Because DJ Khaled, he has a pretty strong ear for music. He knows how to select the proper productions to try to snatch these big name acts, while what he's doing is what they do on the Grammys. They try to seek out the biggest acts out there in the game and make them collaborate with people they otherwise wouldn't and try to craft together an event. You feel me? And that's exactly what DJ Khaled has been doing for this entire time that he's been in the music industry. And because he got the connections, he's able to afford it, and he's became rather notable because of this. But the fundamental flaw of this is it's a lot like watching an all-star game for the NBA or the NFL. Like, you got all of these stars coming together to play this game, but nobody is taking it all the way serious. Nobody is trying to put together the greatest song that they possibly can. They're just trying to showcase themselves on top of this joint that DJ Khaled is throwing together. So therefore, you're not getting the most phenomenal effort from everybody here. But what you do get is some rather interesting tracks off of this, like say my favorite song off of all this, which happens to be Wish Wish with Cardi B and 21 Savage, where I love the energy to it. And honestly, this may be a collaboration that has already happened before in the past or was going to happen eventually. But I overall love the production. I love the way Cardi B is spitting on it, man. As there's some few highlights within it that's pretty dope, like how Cardi B is saying she ain't got no free time, everything is expensive. Like, that was a pretty cool play on words right there. How she said that you need to leave all that beef in the Ruth Chris, the steakhouse and all that stuff, man. Like, that was pretty cool of bars as well. Like, she did pretty well. And then you got 21 Savage, whose delivery actually works with this production, but yet it was a flawed attempt right here of lyricism. Like when he's saying he feels as though he's the best to come out of the South. And you gotta look at him like, south of what? South of Brixton, south of London? Because I know you're not talking about the South hip-hop of America when the only other bars that you spit within here is how you saying that this chick got crazy head like the Kanye tweets, which that was pretty garbage, to be real. Like, his verses was pretty bad. But you don't subscribe to this type of song for the lyricism. You come into it for the energy and the vibe of the track, and it delivers every part of that. The next song of rather interest, I would say, would be that Higher with Nipsey Hussle and John Legend on it, where this may be the very last like actual video that Nipsey Hussle recorded right here, you did. With there probably will be more work coming out. I'm sure Nipsey Hussle had a bunch of work stashed, a whole bunch of music stashed for this kind of occasion, so that he'll still have music coming out, you did. But this may very well be the very last video, so when that finally does drop, if it hasn't already, I'm definitely going to peep that out. But the song was decent. Like, the sample production didn't really mesh well with what Nipsey Hussle was doing on this, where what he's giving us is his own history of his family, and then he gives us his street history on top of John Legend singing, which I really wasn't feeling that collaboration either. Sad that it wasn't that strong of a song. I had some high hopes for it, but it is what it is. The next song of interest to me was that Nas and CeeLo, that Won't Take My Soul, where what I really liked about it was in the second half where Nas was talking about the moguls and stuff of hip-hop. The likes of Dame Dash, Suge Knight, Steve Lighty, Harry O, and individuals of that likeliness, and he's talking about if he had these individuals and this is how you need to be in order to succeed out here. And I like that message, but yet not the finest of Nas tracks. I did really have high expectations too, because those are two individuals that I definitely did want to hear collaborate, but it came out so-so. The next song of interest would be that Meek Mill and Lil Baby, that Weather the Storm, where I love the energy of it. I like the way that Meek Mill was spitting to that production. I just wish that it was just Meek Mill, because Lil Baby is pretty trash. But real talk, this collaboration could have easily happened off of a Meek Mill project or anything like that, because Lil Baby is up and coming. He is becoming more of a notable act and all of that stuff, dude. It's just he's just one of the terrible ones. And the last song that I felt was rather worthwhile of talking about was that Big Sean Thank You, where this is the whole style that many people perceive that Drake stole from Big Sean. But Big Sean just still shows how skillful he is with this type of track right here, man, where he's being lyrical on top of it, like how he's saying, you know, the only taste of success that these other people get is when they bite off of you. Like, that was a solid wordplay punchline. And how he's saying, you know, when it comes to naming everybody that I'm thankful for, it's a lot like naming everybody in the Wu-Tang Clan, where a lot of people will forget individuals because there's so many within there, you did? Like, these were solid bars on the track where the basic concept is all but just giving thanks to everybody that was helping him climb up to where he's at now, as he has specific stories where he's talking about DJ Khaled on how he helped him and how they both risen up to the point that now they're living in the same neighborhoods doing well. Other than those, there was a few highlights in there, like when SZA is doing her thing to the Sorry Miss Jackson as they tried to remix that production, but it really wasn't that phenomenal of a track. How Jeezy had his moment on the song that he had with Rick Ross when he's saying, you know, the last time I got a shipment in, it came with a sleigh, snow. Like, that was pretty solid. Like, I enjoyed that, but not so much that song either. And then you got Lil Wayne, who is the only other act outside of Meek Mill that had more than one verses off of this whole thing, where he really didn't do much. But he did have one moment in there where he's saying that this chick's room got a crime rate because she's in there killing it, and he means as far as having sex and catching bodies, quote unquote. Like, it's a cool little instance, but yet very disappointing for everything that he did for this project, man. Overall, it's not bad, but it's not phenomenal. There's nothing really amazing to be had off of this. And that's why I'm giving this joint, man, a 4 out of 10. Definitely worthwhile for a listen, especially seeing these odd combinations that's pieced together on this, but yet you can clearly tell that nobody's really trying the hardest to make this into the most successful song possible. They are merely just showcasing themselves, getting paid, and moving on. So therefore, this wasn't going to be a great project to begin with. 4 out of 10, definitely peep it. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there, and you can go to downloadpass.com, that's down there, to read today's article.